I'm proposing. God damn it. No, so there's not like a propose yet. Not in front of all these people. It's embarrassing. Okay, it's awkward because I know half of you people.
You just made me very happy.
Oh, dude, next time. Longwood Gardens, 2013. We're gonna make it happen.
2014?
2013?
Yeah, it's 2013, bro.
Oh, I'm in 2014. I can't commit that soon. I got shit going on. So I have a bunch of I have random notes to reference. So when I lose track of my rantings, I can come back to it. It's not really any good. Recently, this is what it just says. I'm just going off of it. It's like a recipe. I recently graduated. Okay, yeah, this sucks. I recently graduated from college and moved to my parents' basement. I like to phrase it as my parents live in my upstairs. That's a little bit easier to understand. And it's kind of depressing because it's hard to have any motivation to better yourself when you have one window, and that's the only time you get a source of light, and I covered it up. I figured if you're gonna commit to being a dungeon troll, you might as well just do it 100% and just not joke around with it. The worst part actually is, this is what is my routine, the door locks from the outside. So even if I wanted to escape, I really can. I'm stuck in that situation. And I love when people are just like, what are you up to? What's different with you? And I'm like, oh, you're an asshole. Yeah, really. Other people think because the world continues to go on, the above ground, as I call it. The world progresses, the news goes on, Israel and Palestine are still fighting, I think. I don't know. They could have made peace, I wouldn't know. That just goes on. But when you live the netherworld, shit's just stagnant. Nothing happens. It's just just the only source I have is the internet. He's not laughing because it's funny. He's laughing because it's hitting home about Saturdays. And so a normal person's goals, they have initiative and drive. They'll today I'm gonna ask for that promotion. They're trying to better themselves. Today I'm gonna tell that girl I like her. Today I'm gonna give my brother a hug and tell him I love him. What are you laughing? That's a nice thing to do. I love my brother. I have two. I love my brother. But when you're what would you say? What would you say, Trevor?
Liar.
I like Greg. He's cool sometimes.
Greg's cool sometimes.
I'll talk about him later. But when you live in the basement, you're devoid of just bettering yourself at all. Your goals are now just it's instead of being today I'm gonna ask for that promotion, it's today I'm not gonna cook an entire bag of pizza rolls. Today I'm not gonna give Netflix the chance to tell me that maybe I've watched too many episodes of Park and Recreation. Which is bullshit. You're not my mom, Netflix. I know that now because I'm using my mom's Netflix account, but now they have separate profiles. It's it says mom and it says Bub, and I click Bub. So, I just want my privacy, leave me alone. But then what sucks is the entire time, I'm just doing everything I've been told to do. Since I was born, it was okay, I've only known education and academia. That's it. I was born, it was you need to be in the first grade, second grade, third grade. And then at high school, it's a game. It's press to continue, and you say no, right choice. Or you say continue, and you go to college. I did that. So I graduated. And I was going for political science, and everyone there was really motivated to better themselves and stuff. I remember my mom was telling me when I was 10 years old. She said, "What did you want to do when you grow up?" Because you should ask a 10-year-old that. What do you want to do? No? You're living
decide the rest of your life.
Yeah, decide your life. No. And she said, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I was like, "I don't know. Exploit the working class?" and then my mom was like, "Well, you better be a lawyer or a politician." And I was like, "Well, I'm not smart enough to be a lawyer, so I'll go for political science." And I remember going to school and everyone was preparing to be a lawyer, because that's what you do when you're being a politician. Obviously, I didn't know that. And they were like, "So when are you going to go take the LSAT?" And I was like, "Nah, fuck that shit, I'm done." What? I'm like, "No, I'm getting off this train, dude. Nah, we're just abandon ship. It's not good." So I'm just kind of stuck in that, just looking for a job. But I always have the resounding fact that no matter how pathetic and like shitty I become, I still have this light looming ahead. She's called Dinobot. And I'm not going to explain to you why she's called Dinobot. You just got to kind of go with this now. Dinobot's really misunderstood, okay? You just don't understand her. The things that, happened to her recently, she has, I think, 5 warrants out for her arrest. That's how we are in this game, yes. And it's just really just misunderstood things. Like, she was like hanging out on her own property, okay, stand your ground laws, we already did this. I think, how'd that go? And she was throwing beer bottles at cars, minding her own business on her property. You can do whatever you want on your property, it's America, goddammit. So she was lunching beer bottles at other people's property, and so the police showed. Fuck. And so like a normal person would have like 2 things in their mind, like a check order list, like admit to doing wrong, I was wrong, maybe they'll let me off easy. Maybe they'll let me off easy, I just admit the truth, they'll understand, I had a bad day, I got laid off, you could just make everything up. Number 2, deny everything. Fuck it, they don't have proof. Shit, I know you did it. This is 2013, no one has cameras on their cell phone filming everything all the time. They don't do that because the police turn it off when they get there. But no, the third reaction was Dinobot was like, cop gets there, she's trash and sorry. She was like, admit to fault, deny everything, punch the cop in the face. So she was like, I should punch him in the face and forget about everything. So she got charged with assault on an officer. And there's so many incidents, but you really have to understand like how I met Dinobot. Where did this creature start from? And the best part is, I'm not gonna talk about how I met her. I'm gonna talk about how I met her child. I met her child before I even met her. So I'm sitting in my room on the computer, classic Bub. If there's a story, there's a computer monitor shining on my face. So there's a computer monitor shining on my face. I'm upstairs. It's a dark room. Like when it's illuminated, you can't see anything. You just have that faint glow and pictures of cute cats and stuff you're looking at on the internet. Duh. And I see like the silhouette of my bumbling brother, the eldest. That's his title now. He comes in and he puts something down. He goes to sleep. I'm sitting there and I hear like a wee. So I'm just like, I assume I have an ad. I'm like, okay, ad blocker's on. That's can't be anything. Don't worry about it. So I'm still on the internet looking at cats, and then I hear wee. And I'm like, fuck, maybe I'll have the YouTube video tab open. So I close 30 of them. Taylor Swift had a new single. I had to find the correct music video. And so I had to close them all. And I hear, wow! I look over. They're just like, give me a second. Alright, so there's like a I don't know, a baby cradle. What they call things. So Jay brought home a baby. Is what I'm trying to say. And my friend Clark is sleeping on the floor, and he just like wakes up and he looks at me and he gives me this face, and he looks over and I'm like, I give him this face like, I don't know how to convey it, but like, yes, we were both looking at a child. And so, I don't know if you've ever seen The Lost World Jurassic Park, it's the second one, you should have. But do you know, I'm gonna connect with you now. You know that scene where the little kid just like, kind of goes to his dad, he just quits everything he's doing, he saw T-Rex, he just kind of walks over. I do the same thing. And I go, Dad? He's like, what? And Mr. Smith is like a saint. I've never seen him like, I would never swear at him. He's such a great guy. His only vice is the Lord. Like, he's just a great guy. And my dad, he's like, what? He's like, Jay brought home a fucking baby. And he's just like, and he's not even just like saying, he's just like in disbelief. Like, what? I'm like, Jay brought home a fucking baby in our room. And then so he just like, he doesn't get mad. He just kind of like sighs. Just years off his retirement or leaving his body. When a person dies, they have this thing called a death rattle, where the last breath of their lungs leave their body and their body shakes. That's like what my dad had. So that's the day Jay brought home a fucking baby, and that was Dinobot's baby, and now they moved into my house and they live together and stuff. So there's that. And so, that's my own ones. So, as most of you must know, I have a sister named Peach. Don't stop it, Ryan. She has Down syndrome, which is really just a giant excuse of being an asshole. No, it is. It's not fair because you're all judging me. You just don't know her. You should not have any sympathy on her. She delights in like people's like misfortune. Like a Disney villain, she'll cackle at you. Like I would stub my toe, and she's like, like Ursula when Ursula comes to the surface, it's like, like if Ursula and Wario fucked had a creature, Peach would spawn forth, and just like her one goal would be like instead of like her one goal would just be like make Bob's life semi-inconvenient. And so I was like, I took her to see Beauty and the Beast in 3D. Because I needed someone to go with. I'm fucking pumped. I mean, I'm finally gonna see that ballroom in like HD glory. The chandeliers are gonna pop. Like, I'm fucking excited. So I'm waiting in line, just a line. I'm waiting in line. I'm sitting there with the Peach, and a group of like 4 older ladies. They all had like Down syndrome, but they were like they had less of it in the sense that like they were older, so they're more articulate in their ways, whereas like Peach is like younger or whatever. And so they approach, and I can only assume that the head person, the leader of their tribe or whatever, approaches the great and mighty Peach. The only thing she was lacking was garments. She was sitting there, and then she was just like, oh, like she noticed like it's very visible that she has Down syndrome. So the nice lady approaches, and she's like, oh hi, I forgot her name. She's like, I'm Rose or whatever. What's your name? Peach is like, fuck you. And I'm just like I assumed like it looked like I don't understand their world, but like, I assumed it was like she committed a great offense, like the tribal leader should not go to like approach someone. It looked like she committed like a faux pas and that like they should just be hung or something. And so Peach is sitting there just like ignoring her, like staring at her. So from the outside perspective, it looks pretty bad. I'm standing there, there's Peach here. I'm in the movie theaters in 3D glasses. I think I have long hair at this point. I look a little grungy, cool. And there's the 3 other ladies or whatever. And the head one was talking to the Peach. And so from the outside perspective, I'm holding Peach by the hand and yelling at her to speak to the lady. So it doesn't look good. I'm like, speak! And then she was being rude in the first place. Like this nice lady approached her and she was just sitting there being an asshole, not saying anything. So I was like, Peach, like talk to her. And it looks like I'm a jerk. And that's how Peach made it look like I'm a dick when in fact it was just her. And the last thing I had, I was supposed to close on my good jokes, was slavery. And,
I know.
wait a second, intermission.
There you go. 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 There you go.
So I like how people think just because we had a civil war with like 500,000 dead and decades of civil rights, you could just end slavery. Like that's what it takes. Wrong. That should still exist. All I have to do to prove that is like rent a pickup truck, go to Home Depot, throw some coins or marbles. They work better.
Marbles.
Bang them around. And like the Mexicans just come out and they pop out, and like they will just get in the bed of your truck and no questions asked. And like that's dangerous. That's fucking like it's so sad that has to happen. Like I could just drive on the highway, throw them off into bad acid, and like no one would care. That's horrible. Why? That can happen. And so I never did it. That's rude. And so like I can assume like and it's so easy now because like they barely speak English, and like back in the day, like getting a slave was a big deal. Now it's like drive-through. Like you just go to McDonald's, you just pull up to Home Depot, like I need like my portrait fixed. Like help me out. And they do it because they're working hard. They're just trying to get like pay for like Christmas presents, and you're just again. And then but like back in the day, like getting a slave was a hard decision. I'm not talking about like the big plantations and like those rich people you see in those movies. I'm talking about like an average middle class family. Like buying a slave was a big deal. Like there's a lot of responsibilities. It's expensive. You gotta house them, feed them. You gotta trust them enough to abandon your child with them and to raise them. What are you gonna do? Raise your own child? Nah. You gotta leave that to someone else. Duh. And transition. It's all part of the act. I know what's coming up next. I don't. So, and like, I love how people now, there's fucking insane people. They're like, we need to kick the Mexicans out of this country. I'm like, why? Where are we gonna get other slaves? Like, you're we built so long for this. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's more efficient. Like, we have to import them now. We did that once. It was horrible. I'm like, where are we gonna go? China? They're already enslaving their own people for us. I mean, like, who has an iPhone? Who has an iPhone? You've all used slave labor. Congratulations. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you. It's awesome. Mine's gold. That's totally worth it. And like, and people are like, where are we getting the Mexicans? Like, or not Mexicans, we're gonna get the slaves now. Like, go to Canada. Like, they had to know how to fucking cut grass above the north wall. The ice walkers. Like, what, we're gonna come and cut my grass? Fuck that shit. Like, where else are we going to import them from? There's no other place. China's doing it for us. So, that's all I had, I think. Yay!